Tinubu, government and others should learn from Akeredolu'S death, Bode George. Former Deputy National Chairman of the PDP, Bode George, has called on all Nigerian leaders to learn a lesson from the death of the former Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. In a statement on Thursday, George said Akeredolu's demise should be a big lesson that those in position of authority must always strive to defend the interests of Nigerians. George said the big lesson is that everyone should fear God, respect fellow human beings, and do the right thing for the country to assume its rightful place in the Committee of Nations. He described the former governor's death as a monumental loss to Ondo State, as the Southwest, and also the country in general, recalling the role played by Akeredolu in the formation of Amotekun. George said Akeredolu stood out when the lives and property of people of Ondo State, in particular the Yoruba people, were threatened by invaders. This statement reads, Akeredolu, who I always refer to as my Aburo, made a great difference in the lives of his people and the nation through a combination of purposeful leadership and commitment to excellent service delivery. It is really unfortunate and sad that we are referring to this legal giant, great scholar, politician, and administrator par excellence in the past tense. He was a consummate and a courageous politician who spoke truth to power till he breathed his last. Akeredolu stood his ground by insisting that the right thing must be done. When a first-class traditional ruler in Ondo State, Oba Israel Adeusi, was killed, and when some bloodthirsty maniacs invaded St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, and killed worshippers, Akeredolu showed courage by insisting that those responsible must be brought to justice. He shed tears, spoke, and Abuja listened to him. When he was indisposed, it was really unfortunate the needless controversy that emerged over the transfer of power to his deputy, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who is now the governor. Such was not necessary at all because the 1999 Constitution, as amended, is very clear on a matter like this. The argument and power play were absolutely unnecessary. The lesson in this is that leaders must always think of the collective interest of all. Nobody will leave this world alive. We will all die one day. Any struggle for the power that is outside the spirit of the Constitution should not be allowed. What are we struggling for? Position, power, money, fame, influence? All these are transient. Nothing lasts forever apart from the power of God. Aiyedatiwa was even threatened with impeachment, but where is he today? He is the governor, but he will not be there forever because Akeredolu was once there, but today he is gone. The big lesson is that we should fear God, respect fellow human beings, and do the right thing for this country to assume its rightful place in the Committee of Nations. Akeredolu's death has robbed Nigeria of a statesman who was totally committed to the development of Ondo State, Yoruba land, and Nigeria. He used his legal and political platform to advocate for the entrenchment of democracy and good governance. Akeredolu is gone. Everybody will go one day. As a leader, what will Nigerians say about you when you are gone? The lesson of his death is that we must all sacrifice to ensure the greatness of this country. I sympathize with the Nigeria Governors Forum, Southern Governors Forum, Southwest Governors Forum, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, and the children, the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, the Olowo of Owo, and others. May God grant Aketi eternal rest. Well, obviously it's a very sad situation. It is never, whoever the person is, it's never really a positive thing. A thing of joy to lose someone's life, especially as they have family and people who depend on them and loved ones. That is why it's very essential that when you are here, you do what you can to be of the best impact to people. And if you have influence, you are remembered for those things that you have done. And I think that Bode George has touched on very important and, quite obvious, philosophical realities of life in terms of what is really important and, how things do not last forever. And I think it's a very key reminder, especially for those in power, because it seems like even when you are 80, 90, 100 years old, Nigerian politicians might want to remain in positions forever. That would be a challenge, and we would like to see how that goes. Hopefully not. That's not the best thing to push on ourselves, but it is a very, very key point to highlight. Let's look at the comment section below. Every politician should learn from the prison experience of Baba Bode George. You should be the first to have your sober reflection. You need to talk about yourself before you remember others. I mean, you're someone who you stolen 80 billion and you spend time in prison, and you're appealing to a moral sentiment. The way life changes, the way things changes, and nothing lasts forever. It's the same way. Listen, I guess the Bible said the last shall become first and the first shall become last. Listen, yes, you can have your judgments and you can have your opinions, but if some people will speak, and I think in everyone's story, you have to understand they're the main characters and they have gone through their life experiences. And so to you, you're like, how dare you speak on this? And for a lot of Nigerian politicians, a lot of people in the political space who are involved in conversations like this, it is almost very angering to Nigerians when you are not perfect and you have a record or something that can be held against you, but you're sort of out here preaching like, you do better. So people will hold that against you regardless. But it's like, remember that in his own perspective, whether he's being genuine or not, he's out here giving and dishing life advice. Imagine. So then imagine in a few years' time, someone like Buhari will start and, start giving the youth tips on how to be better human beings. How would you take it? It doesn't take away from the fact that what he's saying is right, but the fact that he's coming from him, him being the messenger blocks the message from being passed across. It is what it is. Laughable. Look at you telling others to learn from Akeredolu. Imagine. You need to learn from this more than Tinubu, bloody troublemaker and a bad loser. Imagine. Well, put what you think about this in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.